Following the success of the first game, Harmonix was quick to put a sequel to Guitar Hero in production. Released on November 7, 2006 in North America, Guitar Hero 2 improved on every aspect of its predecessor. Harmonix had a bigger budget this time due to the sales of the first game, and it shows. Like last review, I'll be covering the presentation, gameplay, visuals, music, extras, and issues. So let's get right into it. The presentation of this game is a lot like the last game. To recap, the player goes past the introductory screen, shown a simple diagram of how to use the guitar controller, play the first tutorial, jump into a song and quick play, and experience part of what the game has to offer. This time, the player doesn't have to enter their band name or select a band name each time they start the game. If the player has already played the first Guitar Hero, they may just skip the tutorials because they may now need to learn the basics again. It's simple and appeals to both new players and returning players. New players will quickly learn the basics about the game, and returning players will see all the new things added to the game and notice the improved visuals. This presentation makes the player want to play more of the game and move on to the career mode so they can unlock more of the content to enrich their experience. So not only is the presentation enticing to new and returning players, but also pushes them to get more into the game. The gameplay is much more packed and filled with more content this time around. It fixes a lot of the issues the first game had. Let's talk about the new features this game has to offer. A new Hoppo system. The Hoppos in this game can just be tapped without having to worry about holding the previous note. This time, the player can let their fingers fly across the fretboard, and solos are made easier to hit. Players can have confidence hitting Hoppos this time. The player still has to hit the previous note to keep tapping the Hoppos, but this doesn't prevent players from successfully hitting solos. Adjustable fretboard speed. Hyperspeed is a cheat code that increases the speed of the fretboard. Now notes are more spaced out and players can more easily recognize note patterns. The songs still have the same amount of notes, but notes will not be cluttered all in one small place. More incentives. Players can no longer sit on medium and unlock everything worth unlocking. They must move on to the next difficulty if they want more money to buy everything in the store. The store has a lot more items this time. Players can purchase more guitars, guitar skins, bonus songs, and hidden characters this time around. They can also buy alternative costumes for most of the characters as well. There's 8 unlockable hidden guitars that are rewarded whenever the player completes a difficulty, or 5 stars every song on the main set list on one difficulty. 2 more multiplayer modes. Multiplayer has 3 modes this time. Cooperative, where both players play either the guitar or bass or rhythm guitar on some songs, and work together to perform the best they can. Face Off. This mode is the same from the last game. Both players take turns playing a section of the song, and this time they can choose 2 different difficulties. In Pro Face Off, both players play a song the whole way through. Players don't take turns playing sections of the songs. This mode is unlocked whenever the career mode is beat on medium, hard, or expert. Cooperative mode is fun if the player wants to play more than just a guitar, but other than that, it doesn't have much to talk about. The player can unlock new basses if both players perform well enough on a number of songs. It's also nice to have Face Off and Pro Face Off as 2 different modes. Face Off is for beginners, and Pro Face Off is for the experts. Encores. Whenever the player completes a venue, the camera will zoom out and the audience will start to cheer wildly and clap loudly. They want more. A screen shows up asking the player if they want to continue and play an encore. If the player accepts, they get to play another song, and usually a new aspect of the stage shows up. The rock meter starts on green automatically. The player can also deny the encore, but they will have to come back to it later if they want to continue on to the next venue. Practice mode. Players can now play certain sections of the song rather than just playing the whole song again just to improve their performance. Practice mode has 4 speeds so the player can ease into becoming a pro at the song rather than just having to play the section at full speed and not understanding the pattern you're trying to learn. This game really amps up the difficulty from last game, and rightfully so. The hitbox is bigger, Hoppos are easier to hit, and the fretboard speed can be adjusted. The difficulty is even better adjusted this time because there's 8 venues rather than 6. Like last time, songs give money, except on easy, and performing better on songs provides more cash the player can spend in the store. This game has more songs than the first game, and correspondingly, there's more rewards to buy and unlock. The player this time is going to have to practice if they want to unlock everything, especially the special guitars that require 5 stars on all songs. Another small detail, if the player hits all the notes in a song, 5 golden stars will show up next to the 100% completed song. Just another way to flex. Career mode this time feels more fulfilling due to its 2 new venues, encores, more characters, more guitars, venues that are bigger and badder, and more incentives. Quick play is also the same as last time. Pick a song at difficulty, and then start playing. That's it. And the bathroom wall is back too. Cool. Multiplayer, as mentioned before, has 3 modes, 2 competitive modes and 1 cooperative mode. In the competitive modes, the player with the higher score has the main audio, meaning whatever notes they hit and miss correspond with the audio. Whatever the player has already unlocked in the career mode is also unlocked in the multiplayer mode. There's 3 tutorials, like last time, that are quick and easy to understand. These tutorials range from the game's basics to more advanced techniques. The new practice mode is great. Having to only do part of the song the player is stuck on really incentivizes the player to improve their performance and get 5 stars in all songs. The options include video settings, audio settings, data settings, bonus videos, and credits. The video settings include widescreen mode and progressive scan if the player is on the PS2 version and has a TV that supports component cables. The player can also toggle lefty flip if they are left-handed. Audio settings include adjusting the volume of the song, band, and sound effects. They can also toggle stereo sound. Data settings allow the player to save, rename, and delete save files along with toggling autosave. Bonus videos are brought from the store to give insight to the development of Guitar Hero 2, and the credits show everyone who contributed to the game. Since Harmonix had more money to work with, the visuals see a great improvement. As mentioned before, the game supports widescreen TVs and allows progressive scan, so it can be upscaled to 480p. All the venues have better lighting, more aspects that give the venue character, more colors, more depth to the stage, and overall just more details. This game also carries over the concert hall aesthetic from the first game. The menus in this game have more surrealism this time, and really add more personality to this game. The menus flow just like last time, all the way from the end of the concert hall to the concert itself. The venues follow some of the ideas from the last game, but include their own original ideas that separate themselves from the first game. There's also 2 venues that don't resemble any venue from its predecessor. Let's talk about each one of these venues. Battle of the Bands. This venue takes place at a local school's gymnasium. The dark lighting and scoreboard really immerse the player into the environment of the school. A small audience enjoys the performance, but it's definitely better than starting a rock career in Mother's basement. The scoreboard uses a dot matrix screen that shows the school's mascot rocking out, and when an encore happens, the screen will flash and show Encore. The Rat Cellar, an underground club that has more professional equipment, along with the personality of being bizarre. There's 2 huge spiders on opposite sides of the wall, and there's TV screens that respond depending on the player's performance. Also, mechanical rats roam the stage, swinging to the symphony. The Bar. This bar isn't that much of an upgrade from the Rat Cellar. There's more people this time, and the club seems to be more high-end, but there's not as much as personality. The stage's lights flicker, fog rolls across the band members, and there's posters around the club supporting local artists. The stage doesn't have as much as character as the Rat Cellar, but shows progress to the player's rocker status. The Red Octane Club. This venue is very reminiscent of the Red Octane Club from Guitar Hero 1, with a spinning blade in the back of the stage, red pumps, and cogs. It looks a lot better in Guitar Hero 2. There's more color, has a bigger stage, more people, and a curtain rises up before each song. The Rock City Theater, another venue that looks familiar from the last game, although this venue differentiates itself from Guitar Hero 1 more than the Red Octane Club. There's 2 statues that expunge smoke, and the curtain still opens when the rock meter reaches green. Encores on this venue drop a crystal ball from the ceiling, and it reflects its light on the stage. Vans Warped Tour. Harmonix got Vans to be in their game. It's pretty cool. The stage resembles the Toxic Summerfest from last game, but has so many differences that make it its own stage. The stage takes place in a graveyard with 2 angel statues with glowing eyes that breathe fire. Yeah, that won't cause anything to burn down. There's 2 vault posters on each side of the venue. easily the best part of the stage. Two motorbike riders fly across the stage every so often. The venue really plays with its lighting because it takes place during the night. During encores, a huge zombie puppet emerges from the huge tomb in the middle of the graveyard. Harmonic Stadium, a huge stadium that kinda resembles the last venue from the last game. The stage gives a doomsday vibe, the floor is cracked, large searchlights glare all over the venue, and there's two destroyed taxis that advertise Guitar Hero X on their roof. The biggest detail, though, is a huge projection of the Grim Reaper that takes place behind the band. The Grim Reaper's move corresponds to the rock meter. During encores, the Grim Reaper will destroy the city in the projection, and a Kraken appears. Stonehenge. Legends come to play here. The audience wears cloaks as if they're part of a cult. The stage is huge. There's people all over the place. Thunder cracks, and danger seems present somehow. Other than that, there's not much to this stage. During encores, a UFO hovers above the band. All the venues in this game breathe even more personality and character than Guitar Hero 1's venues. They have more aspects that move and interact with the rock meter. Alright, enough of the venues. Let's move on to the characters. There's 3 new characters, and 11 total characters. Like the last game, each character has their own personality they show off whenever they're playing, and each character has associated music genres to them. Most of these characters are pretty close to their personality in the first game, so I'll be going over the new characters, and characters that had a major redesign. Casey Lynch, a rebellious rocker that won't let anyone stop her from creating some of the best sound possible. Because of her I don't care attitude, it's no surprise she vibes with heavy metal and punk rock. Lars Umlaut, a very extreme audiophile that lives, breathes, and sleeps black metal and death metal. He's very dedicated to that lifestyle. Eddie Knox, a classy rocker with his torn shirt, slick hair, and tattoos. If there's one thing Eddie Knox knows, it's how to play some classic rock and roll. Clive Winston. Clive this time around has a look more reminiscent of hippies from the 60s and 70s, rather than a slightly more modern counterpart in Guitar Hero 1. Xavier Stone. Xavier takes more of a psychedelic personality in this game, swaying away from his modern rap rock appearance in the first game. The Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper's last design was still very nice, but his new design cranks it up to 11. He looks less disturbing this time, but that makes sense considering he has to be a rocker, not a soul taker. His lack of scare factor is made up with his new wings, hourglass, devil horns, and now a skeleton is more visible. If you look up perfect character design, you'll see his picture. Even characters that didn't get a major redesign still look better and fill with twice the detail of their previous design. Their faces and outfits aren't just a mesh of polygons, they look like actual shapes and constructed materials. A great detail about this game is if the character has a 4x multiplier during the solo, their hands ignite on fire. So small, but so sweet. Also, each character's fretboards are more colorful and vibrant this time. With the exception of the unlockable characters, each character has an alternative costume purchasable in the store. The outfits preserve the personality of the characters, but act as if the character was made with a different interpretation in mind. Star power animations are much more lively this time, and more noticeable along with other animations the characters do. From the 4th venue to the 8th venue, characters are allowed to hop around the stage, which will allow characters to show off their energy and livelihood. Alright, let's move on to the thing the characters play on, guitars. There are plenty more guitars this time, and only 8 of them aren't real, but they really should be. Again, they look pretty close to their real life counterparts, and the paint jobs look really great on them. The real guitars are cool and all, but what about the fictional guitars? How about we analyze them? The Fish. It's a guitar based on a fish, alright. The player must beat the career on easy for this one. It's actually a nice design, it's a little strange for guitar design though. The USA, a red, white, and blue guitar that is in the shape of the United States of America. This guitar looks uncomfortable to hold. Other than that, it's another nice, albeit slightly strange guitar design. The player needs to 5-star all of the main playlist songs on easy to bring out their patriotic side. The Coffin, a more spooky guitar that has the spirit of a dead man living inside of it. Rumors are, if you play really well, the ghost may just come out and congratulate your performance. Okay, that part's made up, but a little spookiness and secret unlockable guitars is nice. The career mode on medium to awaken the spirits. A Viking with a sword impaled in its head with the sword acting as the fretboard. What exactly adventurous humans from thousands of years ago have anything to do with an interactive rhythm game is beyond me. Get 5 stars on all career songs on medium to unlock the Viking. The Snakektopus, Fuse a snake and an octopus, two unlikely animals, together, and you get the Snaketopus. Honestly, it's a strange idea, but it's executed so well. It's funny, this isn't a guitar in real life. It's also strange for Harmonix for the first one to put a hybrid of animals that could totally work as an awesome science fiction animal fusion. The only bad part is the fusion is blocked by a skull, so the player can only see the end parts of the snake coming out of the skull. Simply beat hard mode and this bad boy is all yours. Be careful with it though. The eyeball. This guitar would actually predict Guitar Hero's future. The eyeball acts as the body, and the tongue acts as the fretboard. Boy, these designs are quite strange. I wonder who approved these designs at Harmonix. 5 stars on all career songs on Heart, and the eyeballs is yours to fiddle with. The Battle Axe. The Battle Axe from Guitar Hero 1 is back and looking better than ever. It's very defined and looks a lot different than the other rather unusually designed unlockable guitars. Beat Expert mode, and the Battle Axe will be ready to be shredded on. The Log. Yes, a log. An instrument made entirely out of wood. Supposed to parody the first Gibson guitar that was nicknamed the Log due to its awkward body design. I wonder how this thing plugs into an amp. Anyways, 5-star all career songs on Expert, and you get to play all of your heart's content. I would encourage you to shred on it, but that might cut the guitar. These designs don't really have a progression. The guitars unlocked from easy and medium are still pretty cool. The guitars don't get more complex in design as the player keeps increasing their difficulty. If anything, the player gets the least complex design guitar if they do the impressive feat of 5-starring all songs on Expert. I would say this is an issue, but it's really all up to the player what guitars they want to unlock if they're willing to complete a difficulty or 5-star more songs. Either way, the player is going to put a considerable amount of time into this game if they decided to unlock just 2 guitars. Also, these secret guitars cost money, $2,000 for the guitars that unlocked by completing the career mode on 1 difficulty, and $5,000 for having 5 stars and all the career songs for 1 difficulty. The player has to increase their difficulty if they want to unlock all the guitars, and buy them as well. It's entirely possible to spend all the earnable cash in this game. The cash meter will just go right back down to $0. These guitars aren't the biggest incentives to increase difficulties, but it is great for players that move from difficulty to difficulty. To conclude, everything is so much better in this game. Everything has more pixels and polygons and much more details. More things to look at, more characters, more guitars, more everything. Just take everything from the first Guitar Hero and multiply it by 10. That's pretty much what it is.
One, two, three.
The audio is slightly improved, there's more sound effects, and the audio files aren't as compressed this time. The main playlist still uses covers from Wave Group, but there's 2 master recordings from Primus and Jane's Addiction mixed in. There's 17 more songs this time, and there's more music genres. The decades still range from the 1960s to the 2000s. There's more diversity in the bonus songs this time. I keep using the word more, but it's true. There's just about twice as much content in this game compared to Guitar Hero 1. Anyways, this game rehashes a lot of what the last game had in terms of sound. To quickly summarize, all the popular artists are in the main playlist, and the lesser known artists are in the bonus songs. I say lesser known rather than obscure because there's a few bands that have a considerable following in the bonus songs. The covers sometimes add stuff to the songs, mostly just extending the outros. Some artists reached out to Harmonix and asked if they could have their song in the game, and some got their wish granted. Another Be a Guitar Hero contest was held, and the victor was the Las Vegas with their song, Raw Dog. Harmonix and Wave Group employees have one of their songs in the bonus songs, and the screen before playing bonus songs gives a brief description of the band, and if any of the people who made Guitar Hero 2 are on it. This may seem bad that the sound selection of this game sounds a lot like its predecessor, but it's a if it's not broken, don't fix it situation. Guitar Hero 1's music selection was beautifully put together, and Guitar Hero 2 followed the same idea and even expanded the types of music used in the game by adding more songs and genres. My favorite addition being melodic death metal. Another thing, encore songs really feel like encore songs, if that makes any sense. They give more energy than any other song in the venue it's in, and really fits beautifully with the other songs in the venue along with the venue itself. Each song reacts well with all the venues, as the venues are much more lively this time. So while it may be very similar to the previous game, it still holds up on its own and has its own uniqueness in the song choice. Oh, and another thing, Marcus Henderson is back again. shredding for some of the covers, but Tyson Yen doesn't sing for any of the covers. Now I see why people say the first game had a better song list. An Xbox 360 version of Guitar Hero 2 released on April 3rd, 2007 in North America, and is so much better than the PS2 version. Up until this point, I was reviewing everything included in the PS2 version, while using mostly Xbox 360 footage. After playing the 360 version, I made the decision to use its footage for most of my review because it's a definite way to play Guitar Hero 2. For one, Guitar Hero 2 on the 360 has HD support, meaning the game can be played in native 720p or upscaled to 1080p. Each venue has an extra song, and there's 10 more songs that really fit into this game. 4 of them are master recordings: Possum Kingdom, Dead for the main playlist, and Drink Up and Kick to the Curb for the bonus songs. The main set list is rearranged that better fits the learning curve of this game in the 360 version. Each venue has more details, especially the vault, the best detail. As a side note, I want to personally thank whoever decided this game needed more vault. Honestly, every game needs a bit more vault. The characters look a lot better. Just whatever you do, do not look into their eyes. The singer now has sunglasses on. It adds to his cool factor, but why exactly he decides to wear sunglasses in places that are already dark is a mystery to me. Let me show you how the 360 version really upgrades from the PS2 version. The 5th venue looks nice on its own in the PS2 version, but upgrades to the 360 version and everything is brightened up. The venue looks so much bigger and overall detail is improved. This game also included online leaderboards, which are all hacked now, and DLC. DLC included 12 songs from Guitar Hero 1, 3 songs by My Chemical Romance, and 9 songs by lesser known artists. These DLCs are no longer on the Xbox market due to Activision taking down all DLC in 2014, so this isn't my footage. Honestly, the Xbox 360 version doesn't add much, but the HD support and additional songs are enough to play this version over the PS2 version. The only disappointing part is there's no online multiplayer. That would make a lot of sense considering the multiplayer of this game is finally fixed. I think the game either couldn't handle the online capabilities, or Harmonix didn't have enough time to implement it. Also, shoutouts to my friend Luke for letting me use his Xbox 360, or else most of this footage would have been from the PS2 version.
Late in the beginning.
It does, yeah. I wonder,
Because you can't get the wee or wee or wee. It's this pedal just.
There's only 2 bonus videos in this game, as opposed to the 3 videos in Guitar Hero 1. The bonus videos are the making of the songs, which is just a bunch of Wave Group employees playing their instruments, and the recording sessions for the covers. The other video is a lighthearted video about day-to-day operations at Harmonix. Just a fun fact, that's Elena Siegeman. She did vocals for the songs in the Zombies mode for Call of Duty Black Ops. There's 2 glitches as far as I know, and they both have to do with the Grim Reaper. Usually the player can't hold the Grim Reaper's scythe guitar, but if the player chooses the Grim Reaper, then chooses the scythe guitar, and then chooses another character right after, the chosen character will now possess the scythe guitar. Also, the Grim Reaper cannot use another guitar besides his scythe. However, if the player chooses the Grim Reaper, closes the game, and comes back to the career screen, the Grim Reaper will now have the Gibson Les Paul guitar equipped. The cheats are back as well, but they aren't as fun as last time. The No Venue cheat and Guitar Hero controller cheat aren't included in this game, so really there's just the air guitar cheat. Real fun. There's also a cheat code known as Precision Mode, where the fretboard is removed and players have to play the song based on their knowledge. I have 3 issues with this game, but they're not as bad as last time. First, no post-game content. This isn't as much as an issue last time, due to Guitar Hero 2 having much more content than the first game. So even if the player beats the game on just one career, they put a considerable chunk of time into the game. Also, it's doubtful the player will 5-star every song on whatever difficulty they play on their first playthrough. So if they want the aforementioned secret guitars, they will have to work more, especially with the harder difficulty this time. Also, the Hoppo system is different from the first game, so players that went from Guitar Hero 1 to Guitar Hero 2 may not know that. There is a tip on one of the loading screens that says the Hoppos actually work this time, so returning players will know if something's different. The only other complaints I have are the making of venues and the making of characters aren't bonus videos this time, so it's a bit of a letdown that the last game had more bonus videos. Calibration is also pretty bad. Guitar Hero 2 was made for TVs in 2006, so TVs nowadays have trouble getting the right calibration. The video and audio offset can't be manually adjusted, so players have to hope that the calibration screen actually does its job, or they have to use another TV. Guitar Hero 2 gives a lot more content from the last game and fixes the issues Guitar Hero 1 had. It truly feels like what a sequel should be. So let's count everything up. Much improved visuals, progressive mode on the PS2, and HD support on 360. 15 more songs on PS2, 64 in total, and 25 more songs on the 360, 74 in total. 2 more venues, 8 in total, 3 more characters and 8 largely redesigned characters, 11 in total, 8 alternative character outfits, 14 more guitars, 25 in total, along with 6 different basses. A new practice mode that helps a lot in improving performances on songs, 2 more multiplayer modes, 3 in total, a new Hoppo system that would be used for the rest of the series, and a lot of features from the last game that work well in the sequel. Guitar Hero 2 takes everything Guitar Hero 1 did and cranks it up to 11. In other words, it does everything 10 times as satisfactory. The gameplay, visuals, and music are much more improved, but it's really about the experience the player has with this game. While the first game had a lot of emotion and energy the player experienced as they jammed out to their favorite songs, it can't compare to the amount that Guitar Hero 2 has. There's nothing in the first game that feels as good as playing Freebird for the first time. Even playing on the PS2 feels a lot different than playing Guitar Hero 2 on the 360. There's not a lot of replay value to this game, but I keep coming back to it. I think maybe it's my nostalgia. Anyways, I still highly encourage players to rock on, because maybe one day, just one day, you too could be abducted by aliens and live on as a rock legend. Finally, I 5-starred every career song on Expert. After so much sweat, tears, and blood, I will now have the most prestigious guitar ever known to man. Behold! The log? God damn it.